All right, we're going to start trying out something new. This will be the first video to do it. Red for Daredevil. Obviously, it doesn't show up as well because my background's already red, but still, like, you get a little bit of it, a little bit of the glow. Anyways, Daredevil Born Again, last episode of the season. It's fine. It's fine. I'll tell you what, more than anything, I was deeply infuriated by the Frank Castle stuff. I'll get into that a little bit later, though. I think the single most unsatisfying answer that they could have given to the question, why did Matt throw himself in front of a bullet for Fisk, was the one we got, which is he doesn't know. Like, I suppose you could say, like, it was his instinct to help anybody, except I'm not sure that they've earned that position from him. Like, it was a legitimate question. It was a question worth asking. And you just nothing. Absolutely nothing. And unless they're going to make it a part of an arc for him to try and figure out why he did that, and I bet you they're not, then what the hell was the point? Not to mention the fact that he's back on his feet in fighting form. One episode later, what was the point of him getting shot? He basically walks it off. Yes, he's like a little bit more injured. Yes, him being injured is part of what gets Karen to stop him. But like, come on, man. You couldn't think of a different way to do that? Like, that shooting feels so pointless now. Like, deeply pointless. Especially considering, like, they didn't find Poindexter after, so he's still loose, wants to kill the Fisks, and yet it doesn't factor into this at all. What? What are we doing? Like, what is this? What are we doing at this point? I mentioned Karen. I was really happy to see her back, although it really did put in even sharper relief than we already had how much the substitute characters for Foggy and Karen have not been cutting it. She's so much better. She's so much better than what is Cherry and whatever the hell his girlfriend, whose name I can never remember. Is that Heather? I don't know. Dr. Glenn. I remember Fisk calling her that. So she's Glenn now, for my purposes. But like that's kind of my point. I can't even remember her damn name. At this point, I even remember Poindexter's name. Like, well, granted, it's more memorable, but like, I barely remembered him as a character at all before. Or even in this season, for that matter. And Cherry is practically a non-entity, but I can remember his name. Like, what? Karen was good to have back. And I hope she's back as a fixture in the next season, because her absence has been palpable, as has that of Foggy. And supposedly the actor's coming back, I'm assuming for flashbacks or something. But like, their absence hurt this season. Like, it really did. Their presence was not made up for with the characters who were brought in. And the characters who were brought in were not great in the first dang place. So, yeah, Karen back is a good thing, but it just illustrates by its nature, stuff that wasn't working. So there's that. Look, I don't have a problem with gore, but did anyone else feel that the head crush from Fisk of the police commissioner was really unnecessary? Like, I don't know, and I don't just mean this, like, ew, gross gore. Like, I'm not a gore hound. I don't automatically like gore, but I don't automatically dislike it either. But I tell you, I think I would have liked it better, not just for not seeing, but I think it would have hit the moment harder if, like, it just panned up to Fisk's face, and you just hear the crunch, and you see his hands come away all bloody. Like, honestly, I think that would have been more impactful. Whereas, as opposed to just seeing it, I'm like, oh, okay, heavy gore effect, got it. I don't know, the impact of the moment was lost. Although, the impact of the moment was already lost because, oh my gosh, did they handle the police so poorly in this season. they set themselves up to tackle, to some degree, issues of corruption and excessive violence and all this other stuff within the police force. And they have botched it at every goddamn level that it could just about be botched at. First of all, they create this task force. So they literally separate out the bad cops from the good cops. They have literally segregated them. So we know all these cops are bad and the other cops are probably good. And then they take the commissioner, who I was already uncomfortable with the fact that he was like, oh, all these guys are bad apples. I'm like, dude, you were the overseer of the orchard. If there were bad apples and you knew about them, you are at fault for not doing anything about them. So the fact that he was instead painted as like the voice of reason that Fisk had to take out, like, I understand that he wasn't going along with what Fisk wanted, fine. But like, the fact that the show painted him as his voice of reason, when the fact is that these bad apples were on his police force and he knew about it and didn't do anything. And he only cared when they went under somebody else's control. And never is that actually brought up and pointed out and dealt with properly. So I also don't care that the commissioner's dead. Screw that guy. But coming back to the cops, so, okay. You set yourself, and look, if you're not going to say anything meaningful about excessive violence, about corruption within the police force, about the code of silence that is held between even the good cops and the bad apples, where even if you are making an argument, oh, it's only these few cops, okay, but all the other ones are still not doing anything about it. You set yourself up to do all these things, but if you're not going to do any of them, just don't tell a dirty cop story. Just don't tell an excessive violent cop story. If you don't have the balls to do it, then don't. Nobody was making you. And the reason I'm really ticked off about this is there was one thing that I was waiting for, that I've been waiting for the whole time, which was the confrontation of Frank and the cops. And they got it so wrong. Man, okay. First of all, nitpick about Castle. I don't know if this was an existing issue, because like I said, I bounced off the Netflix Punisher show. I didn't even finish the first season. Not that I hated it, I was just bored. But I bounced off it, so I don't know if this has always been the case. God, was his grunting during his action scenes excessive and distracting and taking me out of the moment. Look, I don't have a problem with the guy grunting for emphasis, like an extremely hard hit. Cool. Awesome. But he's growling like a caveman throughout the entire fight with the cops in that warehouse or whatever the hell it was. And it's just, it kills whatever good would have come of that. But my problem isn't with the action scene. That was a side note. My problem is that it is important that Frank not just kill some of these guys, not just fight these guys, that he take them down a peg and explain for them and the audience why they can't act like him. The comics have done this directly. I would actually say the comics were almost a little bit too soft on it, but they still made the point. Forgive me if I don't get the exact line right, but when Frank found out that there were cops who idolized him and took him as a role model, he said flat out to their faces, "You are not like me. You took an oath. You swore to obey and uphold the law. I abandoned anything even close to that kind of oath a long time ago. You should never be like me. You want a role model? Go look at Captain America. Don't you dare idolize me." And what does he say in this instead? "You think you know my pain? Fuck you!" Like, this was why I couldn't keep watching the Punisher TV show. I'm not saying Frank isn't damaged. Of course he's damaged. He's damaged to hell and back. But it's not supposed to just be, "Oh, I'm hurting, now I kill people." That's not a version of the Punisher that I've ever wanted to see. And they had a moment to actually do something and make a point about something that fucking happens in real life with cops idolizing the fucking Punisher, and they don't even get that right. Because he has to be about his pain instead. Fuck. Oh. I know I said it's fine. Clearly it's not. I'm pissed. I'm pissed at this thing. So look, why did I say it's fine? Well, because the castle stuff is the only stuff that actively made me angry. The rest of it just left me going, okay. So like we're just setting it up for another season. There's martial law. He's in control of the city. He's back with Vanessa. Okay. Like that's enough that maybe the next season could be interesting if it's done freaking coherently rather than being rewritten halfway through shooting the damn thing. But the castle stuff pissed me off so much. I hate this version of the Punisher. And it's not John Barenthal's fault. He is doing what he has been signed on to do. He's doing the assignment. He's doing what they asked him to do. It's the writers, it's the showrunners, it's the directors. Stop doing the Punisher. Stop. And like, while I could cite most of my issues with Frank Castle up to this point, including second season of the original Netflix run of Daredevil and the frickin' show that was his solo show on Netflix that I didn't finish, I can cite that as a matter of preference. I can go, that's not a Frank Castle I want to see. But I can and will point to how they handled Frank and the cops in this and point at that and say, no, that's wrong. I don't think that one's a matter of opinion. That he had the chance to explain, even in the most coarse words that they would care to throw out, even if he did it haphazardly, at least explain in some way why he is not them and they should never, ever be like him. And it's not because they don't understand his pain. F*** off. Yeah, I said it's fine, but I hate it. And the reason I said it's fine is because in my mind, on balance, I'm like, there's only one aspect that I really actively don't like, and the rest is okay to decent. So in my mind, sitting down to talk about this, I thought, oh, it was fine. I don't think I realized until I sat down and started talking how angry I am at how badly they screwed that up. And yeah, sometimes even if it's the only thing that's actively wrong with a piece of media, sometimes one thing can be so wrong that it taints the whole thing. I'm not going to say it taints the season. The season was up and down. There were some decent moments, but this, fuck off. So if you if you want to support my ability to get pissed off at TV shows, which I try not to do, but I legitimately did not realize how angry I was. I'm kind of sorry. I'm kind of sorry about that, but it is what it is, and it's this thing's fault. What did you think about this? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to shout about this as my living. But don't worry too much about it. We try and take a relaxed attitude around here. But you can just come on back next time you need a break. Good God. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Goddess Elida, Zubin Lopfula, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Oliver B., Melissa Pedersen, Movie Turtle, Melinda Walters, Auntie Kate 808, Andre, Becky Sparks, Claire Wright, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Quite Bearish, Rosalind Bennett, Toku Bluhuvian, Adam RDL Taylor, Pal Barabajago, Mary Mello, Mira G, Sir Didymus is my favorite. I've never screwed that one up before. Well, if you want to hear me mess up your name, check out the rewards on the Patreon. I'm going to blame you.